Welcome to Cigar Audit. Matt, Mateo, Edward, and J-Rod here to review the Partagas P2. And we're doing something different today. We reviewed this cigar. This is our very first cigar that we reviewed. And we're going to try it again almost a year later out of the same box and see how it's progressed. So let's get started without further ado. I'll start with you, Edward, since you're touching my knee. Your hair was touching my knee. So what does your cigar look and feel like, sir?
I have one question. Are we rebooting one because somebody's humidor was out?
No, I have plenty. Sorry.
Oh, good.
Yes. I have plenty inside that box as well.
You know, it's a typical Partagas P2. Construction looks fine. Wrapper looks good. Fairly tight veins. Or not veins, sorry.
Tight seams.
Seams. No, I was thinking veins at the same time. Little veins.
I know you're thinking veins.
A few
veins.
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 Is that like the name of a new musical, Veins?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, there's a few little veins in it, but they're not overly bumpy.
I would tend to agree with your synopsis, although I would add that it's got an oily sheen to it.
Yeah, a bit.
Matthew? Yeah.
Oily?
Yeah, oily.
This does smell like it's fresh out of a box.
Because it was.
Ugh.
Yeah? You like
I've
that?
got a couple little blemishes here. Got some.
It's a watermark. Okay.
It looks good.
Looks good. You got some modeling or marbling going on there. What about
I
you?
don't know what that means.
Oh, okay, we'll teach you later.
As a state man, you don't know what that means?
It's a numero dos.
Yeah, it is. It does.
Like poop.
Yep.
Huh? Jared, what does your cigar look and feel like, sir?
Feel good. Pretty tightly packed.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seems pretty tightly packed.
I got a little issue going on with the wrapper on the very foot of mine. A little small little crack.
You got a crack on the foot?
Yeah, but other than that, everything was kosher.
All right, well, let's get these cut up. See what the pre-light's like.
Is your number 2 tightly packed?
Okay, so pre-light draw, Matt. I'm gonna start with you. What do you got?
Chalky sweet hay.
How's your draw? Is it open?
It's
What about
Barely.
you? What about you, Jared? Your pre-light?
Pretty fairly light draw, and I'm just getting hay.
Yeah, I'm
Not
getting hay in a very open
A
draw.
little bloody, maybe?
Bloody hay? Bloody hay. What about you?
I got a little cedar.
Some woodiness.
No, cedar.
Cedar's wood. Last time I checked. Yes, it is.
Cedar bush.
Cedar bush. Okay.
That's a red.
All right, let's get these toasted up. All right, well, I'm going to start with you, Mr. Jared. First light impressions, what do you got?
No idea. It tastes good.
No idea. Okay, Mateo, do you have any idea of what his cigar tastes like?
negatory.
So, any of your first impressions then for your cigar, sir?
So far so good. It lit well. It tastes good. I can't put my tongue on any notes yet.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, upon first light,
Yeah.
I get a toasty, a bready toastiness with nutmeg and cinnamon on the draw and the finish. A little bit of black pepper. What about you, Ed?
Yeah, it's more of a sweet spice.
Exactly what I was gonna say.
Definitely a sweeter spice with the black pepper sort of in the background. And that Cuban tobacco taste.
No, I can get the toast though.
Okay.
The toast and the pepper I'm getting.
Through the nose, I actually get a creamy Cuban tobacco. So it's really nice through the nose.
That's what I hear. Never done it myself.
I prefer doing it in the ear.
Also with white pepper and a slight sweetness on the finish. It's good. It's very good. And
Some
Ed,
bacon and eggs.
Ed and I reviewed this cigar almost a year ago, and Ed, I would say that it is. Are you okay?
Go on.
I would say that this is very different already from what we smoked a year ago. Extremely different.
Well, I'm getting a little something else on the tongue now. I can't.
Yeah, sorry.
I can't quite place it, but something different.
It's on your tongue.
Not right now. Now
I
it's
was
one
trying
of-
to place
now,
it for
now
you.
it's one of these.
We'll be back to see what's on Ed's tongue after the first third.
It's a dirty Sanchez. Spoiler alert.
Speaking of man phone, welcome back to Cigar Audit. Matt, Mateo, J-Rock, and Edward here to review the Partagas P2 from Cuba.
You're no longer J-Rock, you're J-Rock.
J-Rock, son. Just so that everybody knows, this is from the same box we tested about a year ago. It's box code ULA, July 2015. So I will start with you, Mateo, your first third.
And this is J-Rock vodka, apple flavored.
Yeah, baby.
Delicious. My first third, I am getting over a cold. I wasn't really able to identify the flavors at first, but Matt mentioned quite a few that he observed, and I agree that I am getting some toasted bread and mild bell pepper. A lot of the retro hail is a sweet, mild pepper without any bite to it. It's not burning my nostrils at all, so it's very pleasant.
I would agree. I think it's a bell pepper for sure, not just on the draw, but through the nose. I get sweeter spices on the finish and then a little bit on the draw, some cinnamon and nutmeg, and with a little bit of black pepper mixed in there. But some of the draws are quite sweet, but it's a vegetable sweet. So it's really enjoyable. My burn is really good. Some others here not so much. So speaking of bad burn, Ed, your cigar.
Pretty catastrophic.
It's pretty
It was
sad.
almost canoeing, and then the ash was like a big
Wow.
angle. I get a little bit of the pepper, mostly the spice.
Nice going, Ed.
Ed, what did you do?
And now you
Anyway.
can vacuum it up.
I will. And finish your third.
It's the spice is there. It's not overbearing. I mean, it's a mix of the sweet spice and the pepper. I'm not getting any sourdough bread or anything.
Yeah, I was definitely getting some sourdough
What
bread.
about scallions? Get any scallions?
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah, like the green onions, you know? Get any of that?
No.
Can you guys hear me?
Alright,
Your Flovian tubes.
Jared, your first third. What
Yeah.
kind of
I'm not
experience do
getting,
you have?
I'm not getting the sourdough bread that Matt seems to be getting. I'm with Ed on that. I'm definitely getting that vegetable pepper taste. It's what they describe as a bell pepper, and a lot of good Cuban sweet tobacco in there. I'm tasting too. It's kind of weird though because the peppers are like it's real clean and short until the finish, and then it seems like after about 15 seconds into the finish, it all of a sudden get that tingle in the back of your tongue. It kind of looks like appears out of nowhere. It's kind of weird, but
Yeah, I agree. The black pepper is late on the finish, and I think you hit the nail on the head. It's that sweet Cuban tobacco flavor. It's the bell pepper sweetness, but then it turns into a sweet Cuban tobacco, which is really enjoyable. And unfortunately, Ed's got a tragic cigar. The rest of us are having a good
You know,
time.
if you guys, if I can taste maybe a bread, more like a rye bread or like a Triscuit type thing in there.
Triscuits.
like a Reuben.
Actually, the mixture of the flavor, actually Triscuit's probably not that far off.
Well, the original Triscuit.
Yes, not the crap that they have now. But
That
yeah,
bullshit whole grain.
Yeah.
I gotta say, kudos, Mr. Ed. I think this is nail on the head right
Does
there.
that mean a box of Triscuits are going into your?
Absolutely. Well, so far, so good for most of us. We'll finish the second third and we'll let you know how it progresses.
Bitch!
So, welcome back to Cigar Audit. Matt, Ed, Mateo, and J-Rock here to review the second third of the Partagas P2, Series P2. Ed kind of skipped his second third because his burned down so quickly, so I'll start with Mateo. Mateo, your second third, sir?
My second third continued to be somewhat powdery, and it became more sweet with the spices that El Padrino mentioned earlier.
Sweet.
A little bit of cinnamon and nutmeg, perhaps, less pepper notes. So yeah.
Do you have voice modulation issues? What about you, Jared?
Not much change. I didn't notice any transitions, still the same stuff. A lot of that sweet Cuban tobacco with that vegetable pepper taste. Pepper might be coming out a little bit more though, getting a little more harsh on the pepper. Not necessarily bad harsh, but it's a little bit more detectable.
My second third, I think I got a little bit of earthy notes in there with the vegetable notes and the spice. I think the spice through the nose is stronger and sharper. So definitely a sharper white pepper, still with cinnamon and nutmeg. Are you okay? I think I would tend to agree on the transition. I don't think the second third has had much of a transition, except for sharper spices and some earthy notes. Did you want to kiss me? Is that what you're doing?
No,
Okay.
I don't want to get you sick.
I already am.
Oh, perfect.
All right. Well, Ed really has nothing to say because he just relit his cigar.
Yes, I do.
Oh, what do you have to say?
It burned very fast. I had to set it down because I'm actually down to the band. Had some major construction issues, and now that I'm down to the last third, I think the spice has picked up a little bit. That's all I have to say
That's all I have to say about that.
right now.
Yeah, definitely your cigar seems to be quite disappointing, unfortunately for you. So, sucks to be you. Mine's awesome. We'll finish up this cigar and we'll see how the last third is.
Your hands are salty.
Oh, that's because it's been in your pants. Welcome back to Cigar Audit. Matt, Mateo, Edward, and J-Rock here to finish up the Partagas P2. And Mr. Ed, the rest of your cigar, hopefully it was better. How did it fare?
It's all right. I mean, I think, what do we do, the D4?
We did the D4. We also did a P2 like about a year ago.
I actually like the D4 better.
Really?
I mean, with all the construction issues I had.
Yeah, your cigar kind of sucked.
Yeah, the other one we had was better than this one, I think.
Yeah. I wish I could say that. Mine's been great. A little bitter in the last third?
Yeah, most of the flavor went away. I did on the last third start to get a little bit of spice in the back of my throat. So while I didn't really get it on the retro hill, it did start. Yeah. Apology accepted. So it's still a pleasant flavor. It's not as flavorful as the first 2/3, and like I said, the spice on the throat picked up, but not on the retro hill.
What about you, J-Rock?
Pretty much all my spice died down. Most of what I'm getting now is that sweet Cuban tobacco and some leather picked up in there. That's pretty much it. Had it touched up once or twice. Burn wasn't perfect, but it wasn't terrible either.
Yeah, I think my last third has actually gotten a little earthy with some spice to it. It's interesting that your spice was dying down when Jared and I's picked up, and then my spice has actually picked up and Jared's hasn't. So they're not all that consistent from the same box, which is a little disappointing. But I would say the bell pepper flavor is pretty much gone in the last third. It's a very pleasant Cuban tobacco with earth flavor, and the finish is pretty long. I would say in general this cigar is a full-bodied cigar, and I'd say medium strength. I'm not getting a whole lot of strength from it, but it does have a lot of flavor. It does have a few transitions, but I would say I didn't really want this last transition. I wanted to stick with bell pepper flavors. So we'll save Ed's number for last.
We should have smoked them all a year ago.
I also want to comment on the construction. I did not have to relight once. It was an even burn. The draw is perfect. So I think it was very well constructed.
I did a minor touch up, but not much. So I'll start with you, Mateo. If you were to rate your cigar, sir.
91.
91. Okay. J-Rock, what would you rate your cigar?
I'll give it 89.
89?
I mean, the flavors were, it's a little subjective on that part because they weren't quite my personal profile that I like, but the flavors were there. You can pick them up, so 89.
Okay. Mr. Ed, I think this might be a time I'm not gonna be one different from
I'm
you.
actually starting to get new flavors.
Are you?
At the very end here.
Wow, that's pretty impressive actually, for that little bit left.
Yeah.
What about you, Edward? What's your rating of said cigar?
I'm gonna go 87.
That's probably pretty generous actually,
Probably.
considering that cigar. I think the a year ago you gave it an 89, but that one performed better. Mine performed great. I'm going to give mine a 93 this time around. I think I gave it an 89 or 90 the first time as well. But the first 2/3 were very good. I would have had it mid-90s, but this last third, a little bit of a letdown, but not a bad flavored cigar, but not as good as the first 2/3. So.
I'm gonna have to cleanse my palate with a brick house.
Okay, you do that. Well, thank you for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Check us out on the Institute Twitter stuff. And don't forget to check out CigarAudit.com. We'll see you next time.
Oh, the making
No,
of
he
this.
didn't.
Well, yeah, the making of this video. Only one person was injured.
That's right.
Por el camino del sitio mío, un carretero alegroso.
Don't they all?
I just took a big ass chunk out of my hand.
No, you did not, did you?
Yep.
Muy sentido.